Welcome back to our next episode of Title Tiger TV. I am here today with my very own sweet niece, Peyton McSherry. You know, we are a family-owned company. We work together. Peyton, say hello.
Hi, everybody.
Why don't you start off by telling them what it's like to work with your Aunt Cassie, Uncle JoJo?
I mean, I think I'm a bit biased, but it's been so fun. Everybody has so much fun, and laughing along the way is so fun. And it's never a dull moment.
It's never a dull moment in
That's
Title.
for
There's
sure.
always something that gets the blood flowing, right?
Yeah, feet on the fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feet to the fire. You feel it. Yes. Or feeling the weeds. That's my name. I'm in the weeds. I'm in the weeds.
Yeah.
That brings me back to my days of waiting tables and bartending. But Peyton, our purpose for today is communication is key. The words we live by at Assurity Title. And I wanted you to kind of walk our viewers through the process of, because you're really the first one to like touch a contract, right? When we get a contract. So can you just tell us a little bit about what that's like for you?
Yeah.
And how you approach that?
So as soon as we get a contract, we're letting everybody know that we've received the contract, it's in processing. And then my first step is to just plug it into our system. And then from there, I'm going ahead and reaching out to the buyer's agent and requesting the buyer's contact information. And as soon as that is received, we're getting on the phone immediately, introducing ourselves. We have some basic questions that we go over with them. And then I explain the earnest money deposit. And how we go over that is our closing lock portal, which is our secure portal for wire instructions. And then we need some basic information from them, like marital status, if this property is going to be a primary or investment property. It's a whole spiel. And then as soon as we get that rolling, the earnest money deposit instructions are out. I go ahead and I let the agents know that the buyers have been provided wire instructions, or they're planning on dropping off a check and they've been provided all the instructions that they get. And then after that point, that's when we order the searches, the title search, lien search, things of that nature. And then we're getting on the phone with the seller. Typically, we do get the seller contact information very quick, and we're giving them a call to explain a little bit of our process and what we're going to be doing moving forward. And all of the communication through a phone call is then followed up by an email, letting them know that this is our process, who they're going to be hearing from at different times. That's about it.
I think one of the things, we've tweaked our processes,
Yes.
right, over time. There was very different the way Joe and I ran things when it
Yes.
was just the two of us. And as our team has grown, I have found the value of just communication, right? Like, even if it's bad news, even if there's, you know, a federal tax lien attached to your homestead property, it's better to just address it and tackle it right away. There's nothing that can really be avoided, right? And so reaching out right from the beginning of the transaction and introducing ourselves is so important. Who really brings us the deals?
The listing agents.
The listing agents. And so the relationships we have, and I encourage realtors to really interview your title partners. You want to know that they are there, that they understand the processes and all of those things for how the transaction is going to be handled, so that your client is in good hands, right? Because at the end of the day, we see them at the beginning of the transaction, and then typically title is the person who sees them last at the closing table, right? And so it's so important that we handle that with care and concern there.
And even too, you know, there's so many scam calls going around as well, and letting them know, save our contact information, because we're not a scam. We're here. We're your friends
here to
throughout
help
this. Because
Yep.
I do get a lot of people, you know, get nervous in the beginning, and I, you know, have to let them know that we're not a scam. We're here and I typically, the thing that helps the most is saying, oh, we're working with your agent, John Smith. And that helps a lot, getting them a lot less nervous, because there's so much scams going out there that they get
Right.
nervous in the beginning.
Well, and we're asking them for a lot of like
Yes.
private personal information, right? Which is so wire instructions, you know, all of those things. And we take that very seriously. And we'll talk in our next episode about how we protect against fraud and those kinds of things as well. But what do you enjoy most about your role?
I honestly enjoy being able to talk to everybody of different walks of life, different backgrounds, and like being a part of my favorite is first time homebuyers. Walking them through. Sometimes I have to stay on the phone with them for 30 minutes while they're at the bank, making sure and ensuring that they're wiring their money correctly. It makes it's so nerve-wracking to do it for the first time, and every institution is different. But I love talking.
Well, I think any time that you're sending out thousands of dollars,
Yeah.
sometimes in some situations, hundreds of thousands of dollars,
is very it's
nerve-wracking.
scary.
Yeah.
So I do like being able to be that helpful person, like the very beginning. This is the girl that helped me wire my earnest money deposit, and that's me.
Right.
And you know, I also like being able to hear the stories of how they got to finding that home. A lot of people like to share like that this was the perfect home and that's what they wanted. And
I know.
even getting on the phone with the sellers, you know, hearing the backstory of the house and stuff like that is very rewarding. It's very fun to be a part of it.
Well, that's one of the things I think too that sets us apart is that we really handle every contract. It's not just a contract for us. We really try to show care and concern and consideration to all the parties involved. Yes, first-time home buyers are so precious.
Yes.
But then so is the couple that's lived in their house for 40 years and now they're moving to assisted living or something like that.
Something
you know?
up north to be with their children.
With their grandkids.
Yes.
Yes.
There's just special stories that I like to be able to be connected to.
I know.
Yeah.
So you pretty much handle all stuff right from the onset.
Mhm.
So you, on day 1 or 2, you're in contact with everyone. From that point, where does the file go?
So
where
that
does the
would
transaction go?
typically depending on the kind of contract it is, if it's a finance transaction or a cash transaction, it'll then go to Dominic. But I'll be the one that's doing the title processing. If there's a title request, that's the one that I get out from there. And then just monitoring it, making sure that we have information, sometimes hunting down some IDs if we need it, or if there's a piece of information missing, something that's needed from the lender. Typically it's a, hey, Peyton, give this person a call and fill in the blank, and I'll get on the phone. And giving them a call is like, since we've tweaked that process of phone call above everything else has been life-changing.
Well, because a lot of people don't want to get, or they're not used to getting on the phone. People don't call anymore, right? Or they don't answer the phone. So to have the opportunity to get on the phone with an agent or get on the phone with a client and hear their story, answer their questions, rest their, nerves sometimes is really important. Yeah. So we appreciate everything that you do for sure. What's you want to end with like a your the most favorite thing to do or any of that? You have any words of wisdom for consumers out there? For realtor, I know.
Well, I would say my favorite thing is just hearing the story. Like hearing somebody say this was the perfect house and we can't wait to close.
I know, and then we get to closing day.
Yes. But I would say for consumers, just in my process, the agents are always going to be included in communication. But just making sure that your buyers are aware that though I will give them a phone call, checking your email regularly is great. Just because, sometimes we need things in writing. But other than that, making sure that they know that we're not there to scare them and we're not a scam.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're ultimately there to protect everybody.
And no question is a bad question. Even if you need to know if the sky is blue that day, give us a call and we will make sure that we'll
help you.
Yes, ease that.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Title Tiger TV. We hope that you will comment, like, and share, and we'll see you next time.